happy that you guys took time out of your day to be with us. Okay, we're gonna wait for the other person and then we'll get started. There's brochures on each of your chairs. You guys can take those with you. It has our contact information. So there's an email address and a phone number. So you can call. There's 3 now in total who run the program for Clean Water for Craft3. Myself, Gina Ross, who is our program manager, and then we have a new hire named Joel, and he lives in Vancouver, and he's joining our team and will be soon in the rotation of taking applications, but still learning the ropes a little bit. So Gina and I will usually be the people who answer the phone and answer questions and stuff, and we'll work through you through the process of obtaining a replacement septic system. 2 of us. Hi. Should be weird if I held my laptop.
Whatever you want.
Let me see.
So hopefully perhaps we can, Jennifer will give an overview of our program and what it's all about, and then maybe we can spend some time, if you're all willing, just to hear a little bit about what's going on here and what your needs are, any specific questions, if that sounds good. We got one more person that looks like starting their name.
One more person?
Yep.
Okay.
Do you deal with nonprofits at all?
Yeah.
Yes.
And affordable housing?
Yes, so I specifically work on the consumer side for clean water, so homeowners, but in what we can't do, we'll partner on our commercial side to kind of mend that bridge. So there would be a little more connection between the 2 departments, but we would try to make that work if we could.
Yeah, because there's quite a bit of affordable housing in the village sewer district. And, it's a lot of money to deal with in other places.
Are you one of the contacts for that group?
No,
Okay.
but I am more.
Oh, okay, yeah. You could email me and then we could either talk in more specifics about that, and we can connect with, if it needed to be a more commercial structured assistance, then I could help with that. But yeah, we could do both. That's what we're here for. Okay, so welcome. My name is Jennifer Dow. I work for Craft3. I'm a nonprofit. This is Seth Elson. He works for the Department of Ecology. So he's going to bridge the gap for a portion of the requirement of our program. Our partnership is with Ecology. That's where we get the majority of our funding for this program. And so Craft3 is a nonprofit. We have a couple of different groups, but specifically I work for in the Clean Water program. It started with some oyster growers in Willapa Bay. That's how this whole program kind of came to fruition. They needed some help. There were some homeowners that had some failed septic systems and it was polluting the waters, and so the original owner got together and kind of created some financing to help them, and then in 2013 is when we really launched this program for this company and partnered with Ecology to do that, 2003. We are a mission-driven nonprofit, so our purpose here is to keep homeowners safe in their home, assist low income for those who are, preserve local water quality, that's very important to us, protect natural resources and the drinking water, and provide local jobs, of course, because it's a full circle for doing this. And as you guys know, living on Lopez Island, there's a lot of water, and it's a small community, and so little help goes a long way. So our mission here for the Clean Water Program for homeowners is each project is going to be a little bit different. Each homeowner is going to have their own different scenario, and our purpose is to kind of tailor that to what you need. Maybe you want to finance the design piece and maybe not the replacement, or you want to structure things a little bit different. I'm here to help you through that and to kind of give you what you need through that piece. There's no upfront fees, and each loan, which I'll talk about in a little bit more, would have a $2,000 reserve account that you can utilize after the project's complete, and you're wanting to utilize that funds for maintenance later down, so for inspections or pumpings or things like that. So each loan has that availability into it. And so on the loan side, not everyone has to have perfect credit. We work with all different people in fixed income, low income, not so great credit, and then with those structures, we also have different types of repayment depending on household income. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. Actually, right here. So this is, sorry, it's a little tiny blurry, but I'll kind of go over this the best I can. So the way that we structure our repayment is by household income, and how we do that is if you make household income under $35,000 a year, we give you the most flexibility for repayment. All of our loans are 15 years, but if you're under $35,000, you can have a fully deferred loan. You can choose to go interest only or just have a regular monthly payment. The fully deferred loan is optimal, I think, for a lot of people in that income, because usually when it rains, it pours, so it's usually not just your septic system that has failed. There's usually other things, and this gives you a little more leniency for repayment. So maybe you don't have as much money today, but maybe tomorrow, and you can kind of structure that as you want. Between $35,000 and $55,000 household income, under $35,000, your interest rate will be 2.49%, and then you'll have those flexibility options. There's a little bit of caveat with that, so if your project goes over a certain amount, like over $35,000, then you're bumped out of fully deferred and have to go into interest only. If your project goes over $45,000, you would still obtain that same rate of 2.49%, but then we would ask that you do just a regular monthly payment. If your household income is between $35,000 and $55,000, your interest rate's 4.49%, and then you have the option of going interest only for the 15 years, or you can have a regular monthly payment. And that same thing applies. If your project's over $45,000, then we ask that you make just a regular monthly payment, and we'll kind of structure it that way. If your household income is over $55,000, or if the home that you're doing the project on is an investment home or a rental property or something like that, a second home, then your interest rate is 5.49%, and you would just have a regular monthly payment. And that's how we would structure the repayment for that. So little tiers and little brackets for each of it. And then if you had questions specifically for your scenario, I'm more than happy to answer those. But that's how we structure the repayment for those. The eligibility criteria. So in order to apply and be a part of this program, you have to have one of these things, not all of them. So your septic has to be at least 25 years or older. It has to be failing. You have to be under orders to have fixed it or need to fix it. Any one of those things. Or you've been contacted by the local health jurisdiction to say that you have a problem, you need to address it. Any of those, one of those, puts you in the category of being able to apply for this program, which is, and then we can, of course, help you with that. And I'm going to let Seth talk about this. So because we partner with the Department of Ecology, part of our program, we go through a cultural resource review, and he's going to kind of go over what that means for homeowners.
Yeah, so I'll try to make it real brief. So as Jennifer said, this program utilizes funding from both the state of Washington and the EPA. And so as part of that, we have to do just a review of the archaeological risk where we're doing projects. And so what that usually entails is, as soon as Craft3 receives an application from a homeowner, I get a list each week of applications, and I start that process right away just to keep the ball moving on a project. And we just try to assess if there are known sites or any big concerns. For most projects, there isn't, and so they go through a 15 business day review period. For some projects that might be near a site or in a real high-risk area, on lesser occasions, we have a need to do an archaeological survey. It sounds scary, but again, most of these don't end up going through that process. But in that case, Jennifer and others at Craft3 work really closely with the homeowner just to walk through what that process looks like, connect borrowers with the appropriate folks to help complete that, and those are also costs that are eligible to be rolled into the loan for the larger septic repair replacement. For hardship or lower income borrowers, we also have a set aside through the program to utilize grant funds to just pay for that portion of the project as well in certain circumstances. So we really just try to handle that process as early as possible and try to make it easy. We also try to make ourselves aware of any project that's posing a public health emergency, and we have pretty vague interpretation of what that means. If you've got sewage backing up into the home, if you have sewage on the property, anything like that, we would definitely consider that an emergency. And so those projects usually go through a 3-day review really fast, just because everyone has the greater interest here of water quality and public health protection. And so we try to be as flexible and as quick as we can within what we're required to do based on our funding.
That part. So the project workflow, this is it's hard to see. It's what the contractors do, homeowners, what Craft3 is responsible for, Department of Ecology. So essentially, you're going to apply, it goes through the cultural review, I initiate that, Seth does the review on his end. You're gonna get project bids, design, invoices, things like that. Once those things are completed, we'll create loan docs and send those out to you. You'll sign those, return those. We'll start the disbursement process as work is completed. Our requirement is that we'll do, and I'll talk about this a little bit more, but we'll do the final disbursement once we get final county approval. That's how we ensure that it's completed on your end, but is also completed per regulations and all the work has been done, all the, they say, cross the T's, dot the I's type thing. We just want to ensure all that, and then we'll issue the final payment. There's a couple ways to apply. You can apply online through our website. If you don't have access to the internet, I'm more than happy to mail you an application or send you one. We get those back. Then it depends on where you're starting, but then I usually help homeowners obtain a list of designers or contractors depending on where they are in the project. For Lopez Island, the list is small, so you probably already know all of them, but you would find a designer, you would do a design for your project, that gets submitted to the county for approval. Once that's approved, then you'll bid that out to a contractor. The requirement for Craft3 is that it has to be a contractor that is authorized to work in the county, so in this case, San Juan County. And I think that list is pretty small, right? Yeah. So you would have to obtain a bid from them, and then you can choose as many bids as you want. You would submit to me the bid that you would prefer to be paid to that contractor, and then we would disperse 50% up front to initiate the project and get you on the schedule for them to buy the equipment, that sort of thing. And then, like I was saying, at the final payment would be after it's approved by the county, that final inspection. And we got confirmation of that. Sometimes we get that in the form as an as-built, or that comes through as an email from the county saying that it has been approved and inspected and that sort of thing. That's how we ensure that. And then once that's completed, your project's complete, your loan is, then you're just continuing to repay that. And then that's where the $2,000 comes in. That's what we call the O&M, which is the Operating Maintenance Reserve Account. This is specifically supposed to be utilized for after your project's complete in the future. If you need to do any small, tiny repairs, inspections, pumpings, things like that, you can contact us and let us know that you want to utilize those funds. You'll submit an invoice or a receipt depending on what's going on. We'll work with the contractor to pay that, or we'll reimburse you for that pumping or inspection or whatever it is that you needed to do in the future. And that's kind of how that works. We don't disperse anything without authorization, so we will absolutely Like if you call us, we'll ask for an email. If you don't have email, then we'll ask that you write it and fax it to us, or send it through the mail. But we like to have something letting us know that you're authorizing that payment. We're not just going to send someone something on a whim, just for your security. This is just kind of a list of all the counties in the state and the work that we've done. In total, we've done as of the end of December of last year, about $39 million in loans for Washington State, and that roughly is about 1,548 projects in Washington that we've completed through this program. So that's pretty good. This is one of our homeowners that we helped. He was a 25-year U.S. Air Force veteran, and he lived in Whatcom County. So we have all kinds of stories, but the more we do, we really get to connect with the homeowners through this process. So it's always kind of nice to hear what's going on with homeowners, and we'll ask some questions. Hopefully you'll share what's happening in your area and what you need help with. And so we also work in Oregon. So we have a similar program in Oregon if you have a second home there or some relatives. We partner with the DEQ there though. So our company in general is just, and so Craft3 also does other loans in general. So we're not just clean water. We also have an energy department, commercial department, where we clean water will partner with them, but they also do loans for small businesses, all kinds of stuff. So we're piloting an ADU program in Portland right now and trying to get that off to help with some homelessness issues. So in general, that's Craft3, and that's the end of my tiny little presentation.
I just add to a couple of things. We try to find any way we can. If you come to Craft3 and you've got a need for addressing your septic system, we try to find any way we can to fit it through the program, to be as flexible as possible. The way that we structure the program in terms of the type of work we allow is pretty wide open.